We're good? Recording?
Think so.
What's up, everybody? We're back. Did
Yeah,
you miss us?
probably not.
I brought my pencil. Give me something to write on, man. So, metalheads, we're fucking back. It's been quite the hiatus. What was the year? The last post was 2017.
Yeah,
So now we're gonna bring this back and fucking talk about metal and hard rock and all that kind of fucking cool stuff. Hopefully you guys dig it.
whatever we
See
want.
what happens.
Whatever we feel like talking about from the perspective of two idiot metalheads.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Even if you don't dig it, we're still gonna do this. So
yeah. I don't care if you like it or not.
Yeah. Exactly. I hope people hate it. So
they watch. I don't care.
yeah. So what's been going on with you since 2017?
Let's see. I moved. That was a big one, I guess. There's been multiple bands. I don't know if I did the reunion with Assault. I did it in 2017, the first one.
Right.
I don't know if we were doing this then. I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not. But we got back together again, but now we have all the original guys. Well, kind of. The original, that's the weird thing. It's like the original.
You've got the classic lineup.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing, like when we first got started, we had so many different bass players. And even into later on when we got
Crystal.
I wasn't there for him.
Oh, you weren't there when he played. Oh shit! Lucky you.
we had a lot of different. I mean, most people won't have any clue who we're talking about, so I don't need to get into specifics. But
sure.
We eventually. These are the guys that were the band for the longest time.
Yes.
We had like a 7 year or something like that. From like 2000. I want to say 2001 to 2008-ish.
That sounds right.
That's when I left.
You guys worked with the producer from Fight.
Yes. Yeah. I just remastered those. I just remastered that one, that EP, and our other EP.
Really?
Our other EP, I didn't realize how terrible it sounded.
Dude, I need to hear that.
Yeah, I'll send them to you. Yeah, the guy that did the first one, that he recorded Fight, and he did like Mariah Carey and some other stuff too. That whatever, but
still dope though.
Yeah, I mean he worked for Sony, so
right.
Those recordings were still good. I spruced them up a little bit. I don't have the tracks, so I can't remix it or anything like that. But they were good. I just I tried to make them sound a little bit more modern. The other ones I was trying to EQ, and there was all sorts of weird static, and I'm like, oof. But we were too young to know any better,
Of course.
Yeah.
So you recorded to tape back then?
No. The first recording we had with the first lineup was ADAT.
Oh wow.
Sounds really old, but it was 2000, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you recorded with the dude from Fight, was that on tape?
No, that was the beginning of digital.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, he had crazy stuff. Like it.
Of course.
He works for Sony, so it was a real studio. Like nowadays you don't like studios you would have seen on documentaries and all this other stuff.
Of course.
It was that kind of studio that you don't really see anymore, and you don't need anymore really, because you could do a lot on your own in your own place now.
True.
Back then in the early 2000s, it was harder to learn everything. You didn't have YouTube to teach you a bunch of stuff,
That's right.
But yeah, there I did. So I'm doing that. I played with I was still playing with a band, Angry Corpses, which is basically MOD. They were Angry Corpses first. Billy Milano joined, they became MOD. And the musicians departed and went back to Angry Corpses.
Right.
You know, they recorded a whole album. They got Mark Rizzo, who I think at the time was probably still in Soulfly,
I think he was, yeah.
and Michael Romeo from Symphony X to do leads. So then when it came time to do play live, their guitar player doesn't do leads. So
Right.
then I got involved with that. And I'm still
Yeah,
playing.
and I've opened for you guys, and I got to attest that fucking I love that Angry Corpses stuff. I want to play more shows with you guys.
Yeah, that was fun. I'm playing a show in June with them. The lineup, it's a little strange the way they have two lead guitar players and two drummers basically, and it's kind of like, hey, I'm booking these shows, whoever can do it. Those are the two. Those are the guys that can do it. If one guy can't do it, well, we'll have the other guy do it. So this
Right.
next tour coming up, the other guy's doing the first night and the third night. It's all East Coast, so it's right here. I'm doing the second night. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so still doing that.
And that show is at the Kingsland that you're
Yeah.
playing?
Yeah, and then the next day I'm playing with Assault with Angry Corpses. I'm not playing with Angry Corpses, but I'm playing with Assault. And Angry Corpses is playing that the same show. So
That's at Olives.
yeah, Olives, yeah.
Okay. How do we keep up with what Assault and Angry Corpses are doing?
Instagram or Facebook. You just type in the band
Hey.
name. It'll pop up somewhere.
You heard them. Go to Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
Angry Corpses and Assault.
Assault, you just look for my stupid face somewhere in the pictures and you'll know it's us. And Angry Corpses, it says like former members of MOD. So if you, that's the right one. That
Hard to miss.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
Moved out to Bethel, Connecticut in 2015, which obviously that happened while we were doing this. Started working at a record store down the street from my apartment here called Disc and Dat. We could also use likes and follows on Facebook and Insta if you could help us out and do that. I love fucking working there too, man. I've always wanted to work at a record store. It's very fulfilling to be the guy that gets to hand music to people and see people smile and shit. I fucking love that. After I left Dispel, I joined a black metal band for 5 minutes. We played one show. It was a great show, and those songs were great. But due to unforeseen circumstances with a certain band member's mommy, things kind of started to turn sour, let's say. And at that time when things were turning sour, the drummer from Crucial Pain walked into my record store wearing a Metallica shirt, and I was wearing a Metallica shirt. And he's like, "Hey, dude, cool shirt. Yeah, you too." So, like, I'm in this band, and we're looking for a bass player. Do you know a bass player?
Perfect.
Ding! Of course. So he fucking handed me a CD. I went home with it. I said, "Yeah, I'm leaving the black metal band and joining this." So I've been in Crucial Pain since, I guess, I think I'm coming up on 8 years or 7 years now in the band.
Huh?
Something like that.
7, right? Probably.
Yeah, sounds right. So yeah, about 7 years. And yeah, doing that, loving it. And then all of a sudden, Reaper came back out of nowhere. And there was problems with the bass player who was doing the reunion thing.
Yeah.
And so I came back in for that. So we're kind of sort of.
That was cool because we got to play with Accept.
Yes, we got to. Oh, that was a fucking great show opening for Accept. That was a dream, man.
They had the guy from Dangerous Toys also.
Jason McMaster.
Yeah, they were doing. He did some of the shows before we played with them.
Yep.
And by the time we played with them, they had both the singer for Accept. I guess he was sick. He was back, so they both did the show. which was kind of
they said Mark was sick. Pretty sure it was COVID, and I think they didn't want to like freak everybody out because it was still sort of
that was
freak out time, kind of, but not really.
2022, so yeah, it was still kind of.
It was still sort of freak out time, but yeah, that was great, man. Did you see he's playing filling in for fucking Armored Saint again?
Is he?
Yeah, John Bush got sick again with this tour. They're opening for Queensryche, who Reaper has also played with. And he's filling in for fucking John Bush until John Bush gets better. That dude constantly works, man. Much respect to fucking Jason McMaster. I love that dude.
I guess he's
such a nice guy too.
Yeah, he was cool. I guess he was just the. I mean, they were all. I mean, we saw them briefly.
Right.
We had to walk through their dressing room to get to ours, which was weird, but
yeah, it was cool though.
Yeah, they were cool.
Wolf Hoffman is a fucking tall guy, man.
Yeah, I didn't realize, and he's skinny.
Yeah, he's a fucking beanpole.
Yeah, I didn't realize. That's a weird thing with some guys. You don't realize how big they really are.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, most of the time I picture them as like, oh, they're probably short. Like when I was a kid watching Danzig videos on MTV, I always thought he was this big hulking guy. And I met him in fucking 2011 or 12. And he was like a midget with muscles. He was just like he literally looked like an action figure. I wanted to put him in my pocket and bring him home to Ossining. You know, Kirk Winstein. I always thought Kirk Winstein was a big giant guy.
Yeah, I never got that impression from him.
I met him and he was just a little teensy short dude. Like, you know. It's crazy.
I usually think they're smaller.
Yeah, I tend to as well, which is why it surprised me how tall Wolf was. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. A great show, man. Awesome
that was a fun one.
So yeah, I've been in Crucial Pain since. We're gonna start recording with you soon.
Yeah.
We gotta get on our asses and gear with that. And that's about it. I've just been playing bass and slinging records, and I've been guesting on the Rock Fantasy podcast. So if you go to YouTube and look up the Rock Fantasy Files, I've been on a few of their most recent episodes. And it made me want to do this again with you because I think A, we're pretty fucking funny, and B, we both pretty much kind of see eye to eye on stuff, but not completely. So it's like it's cool because there's contrast there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just made me want to do this again.
Yeah, and now that technology has we don't live close to each other. And technology's kind of made it possible, which is nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks to COVID.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Chloe. Is that sexy, ladies? Did you like that sound?
What ladies?
That's how I'm going to fucking spit on your pussies when I get you ready for me. How about that shit? Oof. Imagine this face coming in fucking, what do you think about? Is your cooter all fucking wet and shit? So I live in the fucking woods. And fucking allergies have been raping my face for the past few days. I feel better today, but goddamn Monday, all I did was cough. I wanted to put the business end of a shotgun in my mouth to pull the trigger with my toe. Ugh. So you might catch me fucking spitting off to the side here and there. It's just calm. Don't worry about it.
This light is making me sweaty.
Yeah, it's a little warm in my room too.
Turn it up. There we go.
Yeah. Put on the air conditioning. So, we're back.
Yeah.
Let's fucking talk about some stuff.
Told me to watch something so that we could talk about it.
Yes. Bon Jovi just put out a documentary series on Hulu called, what's it? Thank You, Good Night?
Something like that.
I think that's what it's called. Thank You, Good Night.
Yeah.
4 episodes. Mm-hmm. I liked it. I liked the way it was done. But I wound up not really being a fan of Mr. John Bon Jovi at the end of it.
Huh. Why is that?
Just the whole fucking, he's just so smug, you know, and I understand he's a celebrity. I get it.
Was it
He
him
was a
getting into
superstar
the
in the
politics and all
80s.
that other shit?
Was that?
Was it him getting into politics and all that other shit at the end?
That's not where it started. That, I'll get into that in a minute because that really fucking pissed me off, the political thing that he pulled. But just the whole, like, you know, he thinks who the fuck he is. And it's like, dude, who you are right now is a dude that really can't sing that well, that's charging a lot of money for your fans to come and see you not really sing all that fucking well. Molly Crue. So that's kind, you know, watching him talk about himself douches me out a little bit. I get kind of the, I'm the motherfucker, and I'm the fucking. All right, dude,
But
we get it.
is he not singing well now? There's like some of the timeline in there was a little weird. Like he had the surgery because he knew he wasn't singing well.
Right. He's still not really
Not?
singing well.
All right. That's where they
He's
kind of left that. That thing kind of, I guess it probably ended in 2022. They recorded it, I'm guessing.
yes.
So it kind
Yeah.
of left it up in the air where he was kind of in the, if I can't perform, I'm going to retire.
Right. Which he hasn't done yet.
But I think he was also on Stern recently, basically saying he feels back up to par. I don't know. I don't know if it was a recent interview. I don't listen to him that often.
Right.
But
I mean, if he feels that way, then that's good for him to feel that way. But the most recent, I'd say within the past year, I've seen recent Bon Jovi videos live where I'm like, oh boy,
no.
those tickets were how expensive?
Have you ever seen him?
Never seen them.
Uh,
Never seen them. And if somebody gave me tickets, I'd go. I grew up. That's the thing too. So like when I grew up, my first metal, my first rock was Twisted Sister, Quiet Riot, Motley Crue, Poison, Rat, Dokken, Bon Jovi. I grew up in front of MTV. That's where I got my fucking new music from. And that's the music that always made me stop playing with my He-Man figures and go, oh, this is cool. So
yeah.
I loved Bon Jovi back then, man. Fucking Slippery When Wet. I love it. I still love it. I'll still put it on and fucking rock out to this.
But one
The
thing that I
first,
realized, like when I was younger, I lumped him in with a lot of those hair metal bands. But like
right.
watching this documentary, I'm like, he really wasn't metal.
He wasn't metal. He was hard rock.
Yeah.
He wasn't nearly as heavy as Motley Crue or Dokken or Rat,
Yeah.
but he was, you could have him and Poison on the same bill.
Yeah. I mean, I did see him probably 20,
Really? When?
gotta be 20 years ago.
Oh shit.
And the opening act was the Goo Goo Dolls.
Ugh.
Yeah. But
Yikes.
I will say he sounded great when I saw him 20 years ago.
Right.
But you got to remember, he's 40 something years old 20 years ago.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. And I'm forgiving with a lot of old singers
Yeah.
from that era. I'm very forgiving of that shit.
Kinda
Like
have
I saw
to be.
Ozzy.
You can't do
What's
it.
that?
You have to be because you can't do anything about it.
Right.
Not like a broken guitar where you could just pick up another one. It's your voice.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's another point I want to make. I feel watching this show, I feel bad for him because you could tell he wants to fucking do it.
Yeah.
And you can tell, I like that he's aware that he's not doing it well and it's eating him up and it's fucking with him. So I do feel bad for him. But then I'm also like, well, dude, if it sucks, just pull the plug. Like, go do something else in music. Write songs for other artists. You know, like Chris Stapleton does that. Even though Chris Stapleton's voice is still immaculate, he writes for other people too. Or produce. Help a fucking little band out that needs you. There's millions of little bands out there that are probably fucking fantastic that could use his fucking branding on their record. You know what I mean? Stay in music and just do shit like that. I don't know. That's kind of how I felt about it in the long run.
Yeah. I think I need to pause for a second because I feel like I'm going to throw up.
Okay.
I'll call you back in a minute.
Sounds good.
All right.